At first, it looked like a scene from any quiet park, a mother gently pushing her son on a swing. But when police arrived nearly 2 days later, what they found would haunt them forever, because the little boy had been dead for hours, and she was still pushing. In today's video, we unravel one of the most haunting true crime cases of the last decade. A story about mental illness, a custody battle, and the tragic death of a 3-year-old boy. We'll explore how this could happen in plain sight, and why no one stepped in until it was too late. It was May 2015 in La Plata, Maryland, a small, quiet town nestled just 35 miles south of Washington, D.C. 3-year-old Ji'Aire Lee was like any other little boy, curious, energetic, and full of life. He lived with his mother, Romechia Simms, a woman who, according to family, loved her son deeply but had long struggled with her mental health. Romechia had been diagnosed with schizophrenia and bipolar disorder. Those close to her say there were signs she was deteriorating, missed medications, erratic behavior, and long stretches of isolation. Ji'Aire's father, Ji'Aire Lee, had grown increasingly worried. Just weeks before the tragedy, he had filed for full custody of his son, believing Romechia was no longer stable enough to care for him alone. On the morning of May 20th, Romechia took Ji'Aire to Willamere Park, a quiet neighborhood playground. No one knows exactly what happened in those first hours. What we do know is that once Ji'Aire was in the swing, he never got out. Over the next 44 hours, through a cold, rainy day and 2 nights, Romechia kept pushing her son in that swing hour after hour, even as he grew limp. Some witnesses reported seeing the pair. One jogger recalled, "I thought it was odd, but I didn't think it was that." Others said she looked exhausted, disoriented, talking to herself. Not one person intervened. Not one call was made until it was too late. On May 22nd at 6:55 a.m., police responded to a welfare check. When they arrived, they saw Romechia still gently pushing the swing. Ji'Aire's body was slumped forward, lifeless. He had died some time earlier, possibly the night before. The officers were stunned. Romechia wasn't aggressive. She wasn't hysterical. She seemed lost, disconnected from the world. An autopsy ruled Ji'Aire's cause of death as hypothermia and dehydration, the result of prolonged exposure and lack of basic care. Detectives found no signs of trauma or abuse, no drugs in Ji'Aire's system, no signs of restraint. This wasn't murder in the traditional sense. It was something more complex and far more tragic. The central question haunted the town and the nation. How could a mother let her child die like this? Mental health professionals determined that Romechia had experienced a severe psychotic break. She reportedly believed she was protecting her son from harm. A judge ultimately ruled that she could not be held criminally responsible, as she was legally insane at the time. Romechia was committed to a psychiatric facility for treatment. But the mystery deepened. Why hadn't Child Protective Services stepped in, despite prior warnings? Why wasn't her custody suspended after she'd stopped attending therapy? And why did no one in the park, dozens of people over 2 days, not recognize that something was horribly wrong? In court, Ji'Aire's father, James, stood before the judge and sobbed. "I tried to save him. I tried to get him out. But I was too late." Romechia, in her lucid moments, would later say she still saw Ji'Aire in her dreams, alive, laughing, asking her to push him higher. The swing, once a symbol of joy between a mother and her son, became a chilling reminder of what untreated mental illness can destroy. Today, the swing where Ji'Aire died has been removed. In its place, a small plaque bears his name. A quiet tribute to a boy whose life ended in a public park, while the world looked away. Romechia was eventually released from psychiatric care and now lives under supervision. She is not allowed unsupervised contact with children. Ji'Aire's death sparked national conversations about mental health, custody laws, and the need for earlier intervention. But for many, those changes came too late. As we reflect on this case, one thing becomes painfully clear. This wasn't just a tragedy. It was a warning, and we ignored it. If you found this story important, please like, share, and subscribe. Let us know in the comments, could this have been prevented? And if you or someone you love is struggling with mental illness, don't wait. Reach out. Get help. It might save a life.